But meditation's similar in terms of if you go into it with the expectation of I need to meditate, or you keep checking on yourself, am I meditating yet? Am I meditating? You know, you've got to think about, that's almost like you being in bed saying, am I asleep yet? Am I asleep yet? You know the right way to go to sleep is just stop asking yourself and just follow the routine.
Certainly one of the things that I found is that meditation with any expectation is like a guarantee to fail, because you're sitting there and it's like you've kind of decided that there's going to be some magic experience, and then all of a sudden you realize it's not like that because your mind is in the way and all those sort of things. How much of a barrier do you think expectation is?
It can be a massive barrier. Not only can it be a barrier, but it can actually, in my experience and the experience of people I've sort of worked with on sort of helping to learn how to meditate, it can be the thing that can actually take them backwards before they go forward.
Right.
Because you hear about the experiences of people, you hear about these kind of ideas behind what meditation can bring, and so they just build up this massive expectation of what you should be seeing in a week or a month or maybe even 2 or 3 months. And when you don't get that, as opposed to actually calming the voice in your head, it can actually inflame it, because now the voice is telling you it's not going to work for you. It works for everyone else, it's not going to work for you. You don't know how to do this. And you know that the thing I tell to people is the most common symptom of meditation is the one which is so widely known that everyone basically will pick themselves out as being different. It doesn't work for me. It works for everyone else. Naam Charity works for all these people, you know, they're all talking about God and this and that, and you know, but for me it doesn't work. I've tried it doesn't work. That's the thing that we all experience, and again, it's a symptom that we need to be aware of, because then we're better equipped to tackle it.
I was trying and bring it back to essentially what the most common understanding of Sikhi is, which is around the whole God thing, the whole idea that there is this oneness. For me, Naam Simran, if you ultimately understand non-duality, and this is where non-duality works really well, is that if you understand that the oneness that everyone keeps talking about in Gurbani is essentially a part of what you're made of, or you are part of it, or it's all intertwined, and essentially you are God and God is you. And we read Gurbani's lines such as Sab Gobind hai, Sab Gobind hai, Gobind bin nahi koi. Essentially everything is God. If we understand that Naam Simran isn't me calling God and God being something far, that if you first have to almost accept the premise that this God thing, if that's the thing that you're looking for, or this oneness is you, and you're not just confined to your mind and your body, but you are actually part of this greater thing, that's where Naam Simran really starts taking you into a very, very almost deep spiritual experience, where it's now redefining your understanding of yourself. And for me, the clincher has always been when you lose expectation and you just allow yourself to get into the fact that this is God, or whatever the mantra is. Essentially, that's what you're saying with your mantra. You're not saying I'm calling God, but as essentially that this is oneness and I am that oneness. I am one. Then for me, what Naam Simran starts doing is that you start redefining or reprogramming your mind to no longer just identify with I am me, but you are basically, this oneness is what this is, what my body is, what my mind is this oneness, as opposed to Satpal or Jaz or this is just me as the individual. So I think there is this kind of, ultimately it can get you there, because I'm sure based on the conversation that we're having so far is people might be asking the question, well, that's all fine, but how does Naam Simran get you to merge with God? And I think absolutely. That's my experience of it, is that you start to redefine your understanding of yourself. You no longer define yourself as the ego-based individual.
Absolutely. I mean, just coming back to your point about expectations, because I think it is such a big barrier. I mean, one of the analogies that we can use about expectation and the impact it has is just when we try to fall asleep at night. You know, you get in bed, and if you are thinking about the fact that what you're trying to do there is fall asleep, you can guarantee you will not fall asleep. Sleep is not something that you can do, it's something that kind of happens to you. And it happens to you when you're not trying to do it. If you get into bed as part of your routine, you lie down, you get into your position as part of your routine, all almost automated, maybe even you think certain thoughts as part of your routine, what you will find is you will fall asleep, because your body just knows. It knows what to do with that routine. If you sit there and you try to fall asleep,
or you're thinking, right, I'm like I've sometimes tried to think about, let me see the point at which I fall asleep.
Exactly.
It just never happens.
Well, that's actually a good meditative exercise as well, actually. That's a kind of, I think you're letting on some of the curiosity that starts to take hold of you, because you start analysing all your experience, especially the kind of non-conventional ones, and you start thinking, well, I'm conscious now and I'm unconscious. What's the difference between that? What's a barrier? What's a line at which that gets crossed? But that's probably not a good way.
You can't
that's
sleep.
That's not normally a good way to fall asleep.
Exactly.
That's a good meditative exercise. But meditation's similar in terms of, if you go into it with the expectation of, I need to meditate, or you keep checking on yourself, am I meditating yet? Am I meditating? You've got to think about, that's almost like you being in bed saying, am I asleep yet? Am I asleep yet? The right way to go to sleep is just stop asking yourself and just follow the routine. Follow the routine that you know is healthy for you to go to sleep. Likewise, meditation, build up a routine to the extent that it becomes natural, it becomes normal, it becomes something that's part of your life, it's something that you're going to do. And what you find is much easier, not every day, you're going to have ups and downs, but it becomes more often than not, it's a lot easier to get into a relaxed space, a quiet space, where you can start exploring, or just, if you don't want to explore, just do the Naam Japa, because it actually feels good. Align it with your breath, because that can feel quite nice and relaxing. So this becomes this moment in your day that you can carve out.